Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy, and I'm back with even more cool and unique camp locations. Places that already have structures, workbenches, all that kind of good stuff. We're starting it off in the forest with a fairly large raider base. I haven't done any raider stuff lately, and this place is huge. It comes with the cooking station, and more. We'll get to that later. But let's start making our way up this structure. I'd say this is about 3 stories tall. This room right here, you're going to have some random little junk here and there. And I'm sure some of you see plastic plates and are like, hey, shotgun shells. But don't get distracted. There's too much good stuff in here to get distracted on plastic plates. Now, there are some beds. There's at least that bed. But it's on the ground, and I don't know if you want diseases or not. Maybe you do, though. I'm not sure. Again, there's so much junk just hanging around here. Some purified water. That's always good. Now, maybe you have better luck when checking all these random containers than I was having, since a few of mine were empty. But here's a duffel bag for you as well, and you get a really nice view right here. But sadly, the chair is facing the wrong direction. I would have swapped the chair and the duffel bag around. That way you can really enjoy that view. Now up here, this is the really important part, because you get the armor workbench, and on the other side of the wall, there's also a weapon workbench. And that's 3 crafting stations pre-built for you. You got the cooking station, the armor workbench, and the weapon workbench. That's huge. And this place is pretty cool. But fair warning, there were a scorch here. Mind you, it's the forest, so they're low level. But this is going to keep you somewhat close to White Spring. Now, to be fair, since some updates, White Spring doesn't seem to be nearly as popular. But you do have all those vendors. Now we're in the Toxic Valley, where you can have your own cafe. If you're willing to put up with the residents here. Because this place spawns feral ghouls inside. And yes, that does suck. But it's a friggin' diner, and you can actually place your camp here, which is pretty cool. You get a little porta-diner, all that cool stuff, whole bunch of junk. Dead bodies. I mean, you gotta have dead bodies at your camp, alright? It's just not home without some corpses laying around. No, wait, that'd be more for like a raider camp, wouldn't it? Oh well, dead bodies. One thing I do like about this spot, though, is the teddy bears. Gotta love the teddy bears. It's just, every time I find the little random teddy bears posed around, love it. It's weird, but I think that's one of my favorite things about Fallout, is the teddy bears. But as I continue to wrap around here, a bunch of other crap that you can pick up. And eventually, I'm going to make my way around the back of this place, because there's even more to see here. Fair warning though, snallygasters do spawn over there. And every time I've been around this place, snallygasters over there, ghouls inside this place. So, I would say if you set your camp up here, that's something you're going to have to repeatedly deal with. And that will kind of suck. But out back of the place, you do get this large dock. You have access to water. And a little bit more crap to loot back here. Nothing spectacular. Look at that. Snallygaster way over there, too. Overall, though, it is a unique camp location. I think the enemies make it less cool, but it's a diner, so it's still pretty dang cool. So you'll find this right up here, almost smack dead in the middle of Toxic Valley. Now let's head over to the Savage Divide, where I've got a really simple location for you, but it has a resource extractor spot for you. So if you set up here, you can get you some silver. Pretty cool. This comes at a cost of there being a lot less going on here. But it does have a cooking station. Always cool. You also get some wood inside just in case you run out of resources and suddenly you can't cook your food. Rather depressing. Also, wouldn't sleep in the sleeping bag. Not the best thing ever. Now, when I came here originally, this place had ticks running around. I don't know if ticks are going to be here for you, but that's something you may have to deal with. So be ready for it. You'll find this right here. We're way down at the bottom of the Savage Divide for this one. Which, honestly, I think a lot more people would like rather than being stuck way at the top. Now let's head over to the Ash Heap, where I've got a lovely little merchant setup for you. I'm kind of confused as to whether this would be a traveling merchant type setup, since there's a vehicle, or if someone just tried to turn this trash heap into a shop. Either way, there's a decent amount of stuff here. A weapon always spawns back there where that charging laser sniper rifle or whatever it was. Always going to have a weapon spawning in that. Unless someone's picked it up, then you're going to have to wait. But either way, there's also a recipe here. But it can be a little bit tricky to try to pick up, thanks to this freaking dead body right here. This petrified corpse. It's trying to block it. So you're going to have to probably get rid of the corpse to be able to get to it. Now, on top of the recipe, you also get a cap stash. Super cool. And since we're now past the update, it's a more legit cap stash. Quite a bit happier with it being a container rather than something you just pick up and it vanishes. Now inside you do have the safe, first aid kit, and some drugs. Always good. You're already set up to be a merchant. Now you got a drug supply in your trailer. You're set. You're good to go on being the drug dealer in the Ash Heap at this location. But there were enemies here, of course. That seems to be the major downside of unique camp locations. Someone's already living there, so you're going to have to murder them. Alright, now let's move on to the Meyer. Down here in the Meyer, I found a neat little cabin. And this cabin has a tinker workbench. Good old tinkerer's workbench. Now, there's not a whole lot about this place past that. And one thing that does kind of bum me out about the cabin is the fact that it's kind of tilted on its side. It's kind of messed up. You'll see it here in a minute when I head over there. And it's all because of these roots and trees and anger. Roots, trees, and anger. But inside there are some containers to loot. I think there was some Radaway on there, but I picked it up. Originally I wasn't going to show this location, and I was just going to move on and find somewhere better. But I went, you know what? No, let's just go ahead and show this one. Because when I got to looking at it a little bit longer, I was like, oh, no, I think this really could be an awesome spot. I mean, you can climb up the tree like I'm doing. And if you follow the path I'm going, you can actually get all the way up the cliffside. Now, I'm not sure if you take this location, if when enemies come to attack your camp, if they'll spawn up here on the cliff and then they'll be able to shoot down on you, which would definitely suck. But, looking at this, I went, you know what? You could kind of build a little town along the cliffside. Have a little cliff village, as it were. And I thought that was a pretty neat idea. I'm not sure if I'll do that but I might come back here later when I get bored. So if you want to live here, you'll find it right up here, a bit higher up in the mire, but it's not horrible. It could definitely be further south though. Alright, now let's move on to the Cranberry Bog. And I'm going to keep it super simple this time. This is just a nice, tiny little cabin and a teddy bear. Gotta have a teddy bear. And you look at him. He's so cool. He's keeping score. You do get a tiny little porch ledge thing right here with some alcohol and a dead guy. We're not going to worry about the dead guy. We're going to focus on the little tiny cabin. It does have a little crappy chair outside. And inside there's not much. Really not. You get a cooler, some wood, some leather, a couple other little things you can pick up. And if you want to sleep on the ground, it's got you covered. Other than that, not a whole lot going on here. This one just keeps it real nice and simple. Now, I will say this. If there's any unique camp locations you would like to see me build a camp at, let me know. I'll try to make it happen. It can be any of the unique camp locations from any of my videos. I'll try to see what I can do with that location, just as a little bit of a challenge for me. Now, I will be returning again next week with even more unique camp locations. Overall, though, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.